Anyway, so back to the last 2 weeks. So the other thing that we did in between events was I worked with the dressage trainer next door, Lucy. She's so lovely, on my test, and really I ride a pretty accurate test. So we actually just worked on my warm-up and trying to figure out how to best loosen him up. He's looking really good, by the way. Look at him, fattening up finally. So at both Riga and Kent, I got comments that he was tight, looked tight through his back and tight behind. So I worked on my warm-up exercises with Lucy and came up with a 45-minute warm-up routine of figuring out how to loosen him up at the walk and do a lot of suppleness exercises. And I really felt like that was the game changer for our test. It also definitely helped loosen up his neck, which he tends to get really tight in the neck. And he was just lovely through the whole test. So I'm going to throw that test in here. And I will talk about the judges' comments over the test, since I'm going to throw the whole test video in. So for starters, I've recently had an issue where apparently I lean to the right of center line, so I need to work on that. You can tell here that I am right of the center line until I got to X, and that was the comment that the judge made. I got a 6.5. The turn right at B and then turn left at E, I got a 7. Show more bend in the ribs and keep forward. You can also tell that he looks a little tight and tense at this part of the test. The next movement was circle left 20 meters at A. I got a score of 7. She said there was too much neck bend, but it was steady. I felt we had a pretty nice circle. I was happy with that. Between A and F was working canter left lead. We had a nice transition. She said it was balanced. I got an 8 for that. And then at B, circle left 20 meters, working canter. She said slightly strung out but willing, and I got a 7. We're still working on collecting up the canter a little bit more, but he can get a little tight behind, so that's where we're a little bit careful. Between B and M was working trot. I got an 8. Fluid. It was a really nice transition. At C, circle left 20 meters, doing a stretchy trot. She said fairly willing, watch neck to inside. I got a 7. I'd never really done a stretchy trot circle before, but I was pretty pleased with how it went. Next, we do another crossover at the center of the ring. So turn left at E and track right at B. She said that I got a little bit tight at B. I scored a 6.5. Cutting across the ring versus doing diagonal change reins is a little bit tough for us, but we did the best that we could. At A, circle right 20 meters working trot, I scored a 7.5 on this circle, and she said it was fairly regular. Doppler tends to get into a nice trot rhythm after he canters. He just has a little more impulsion, and we seem to get a little bit better trot scores after we canter. Between A and K was working canter right lead. We got another 8 and she said balanced. We've been working on our transitions, and clearly that shows because we did really well with those in this test. At E was a circle right 20 meters at the canter. I scored a 7. She said keep turning the outside shoulder. Between E and H is a transition to the trot. I scored another 8 for fluid. I was really happy with these transitions. And at C was transition to the walk, which we also scored an 8, and I received a well-ridden. Overall, I think score-wise, I was just so pleased to score 8s on all my transitions since we've worked so hard on that. Now we do the free walk down the diagonal. I scored a 6.5. She said I needed to keep energy going forward and that I had a fair stretch. We're definitely still working on the free walk. I had a really tough time adjusting from Doppler to Jippy. We were clearly a little bit tight here getting back to the walk, and she said it was a little bit strung out. We got a 7. Then we picked back up the trot and went to FXG to halt on the center line. I obviously am not on the center line, and we stopped our haunches slightly to the right, so we got a 7 and a 6.5 for those 2 scores. Overall, I was really happy with the test, and she said I had a lovely ride and well done. So overall, I thought the test was pretty great. I definitely thought we could have added a little more pizzazz, but it's hard to add too much pizzazz with him because if you ask a little too much of him at his age, he gets a little fussy, and we just want to avoid being fussy. Again, I felt like the Confidence Eq was a game changer. I highly recommend if you guys have any horses with anxiety or tension that get really stressed off property. This is in no way endorsed, but I think it was really helpful for Doppler, who tends to scream and be stressed and anxious. He doesn't stand still and all of those things. So overall, a real win in the Confidence Eq. I highly recommend trying. So from dressage, we had a score of 28.1, which was really super, and we were sitting in first place, and we were able to hold that first through the rest of the day. I was actually really nervous being in first after dressage because I don't think that's ever happened to me before. Maybe at Kent with Rex. But having to hold on to first is a little bit of a pressure. I feel like moving up is fun because you're like, oh, I'm in third. I have the chance to move up, but I'm also like content with where I'm at. But sitting in first had a little bit of pressure on my jump phases. I feel very confident in our jump work together, but I was a little bit nervous about rails in stadium just because it's hilly, not because he's prone to pulling rails. So I just needed to ride very accurately, which I felt like we had a lovely course. I will drop that in here. Happy with that stadium course. We do need to work on, you see 2 moments where I'm a little bit irritated because he doesn't want to do the simple change, so I guess we need to work on getting that more. I don't really push that at home. I guess I need to school that a little bit before the next event, but I'll throw in a couple little cross-country clips here just that my friend got leaving the start box and whatnot.
10, 9, 8, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go.
We had a great ride. I do need to work a little bit on our rideability. He was eating up the course and having so much fun, and I would say about halfway through I was getting a little bit dragged to the fences. He took a couple of flyers that I did not want to take. I wanted to add it up. So we'll work on that a little bit before Millbrook, which is our next event. Millbrook's a really big event, and I'm super excited about that. Right now, I'm just going to give him a couple of days off and just do like some light walk, trot, Pessoa work and soak up that win, which was such a fun, rewarding aspect to the weekend. You work so hard all winter up here in Area 1 in the cold, and to come out and win is just finally the verification that all the hard work can pay off sometimes. So I hope you guys enjoyed my competition vlog and catching up from the last couple weeks. Coming up this week on the weekly equestrian vlog, I'm going to review some Majyk Equipe products that I got from Riding Warehouse. I'm super excited about that. And then also at some point, maybe we can talk about some of the stuff I've been working on with the Pessoa and conditioning and the new things I've been learning about helping older horses. My biggest thing this year is keeping him sound, happy, and fit, and doing it as easily and safely as possible. So, thanks guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this very long catch-up vlog, and I'll see you guys next time.